In football, with quarter-final spots in the UEFA Cup up for grabs tomorrow night, Leeds could be without the experienced Lucas Radebe and Nigel Martin for the second leg of their tie against Roma. However, David O'Leary's problems don't end there. He's just as concerned about the mental state of his younger players. Bryn Law reports.
AS Roma's charter flight emerged from thick fog at Leeds Bradford Airport this morning, meaning the players had to wait quite a while for their first glimpse of English soil.
A typical wet and windy West Yorkshire welcome for the Roma football side, coming from sunny southern Italy to this.
I think it's fair to say initial impressions were somewhat less than favourable, particularly for those like Cafu, the Brazilian experiencing our Yorkshire climate for the first time. The boss certainly didn't waste any time in telling the folks back home just how miserable it all was, but after all, he's not really here for a holiday, is he?
Could I ask the coach whether Roma is expecting a hard game in Leeds?
Vuole sapere da lei se la Roma si aspetta una partita difficile qui a Leeds.
Sì, la Roma si aspetta sempre partita difficile in partenza con tutti e poi dipende da quello che succede sul campo. Sì.
Roma, yes, always expects hard games to be played every day in every match they make, and of course it depends on what happens then on the field, on the pitch.
Back at Ellen Road, Leeds weren't predicting any easy evening to come either. Martin and Radebe both facing late fitness tests, and the youngsters apparently beginning to feel the pace.
I noticed on Saturday, particularly in the second half, that they were a little bit tired, and that concerns me tomorrow night.
Goals haven't exactly been flying in for Leeds so far this season, but they did get a couple at Derby at the weekend, and they know they need a couple more tomorrow.
We've got to be disciplined. We've got to get a goal, without a doubt, at least, to bring the game back to us. But we can't afford to be gung-ho and silly and everybody charge forward stuff, because we're a team that can hit you on the break big time. And I don't think they'll come here to defend, because I think their strength is, like us in Rome, to be positive going forward.
The manager celebrated in style with the fans at the end of the first leg. Expect much more of the same if Leeds complete the job at a sold-out Ellen Road tomorrow. Bryn Law, Sky Sports.
Their skipper Lucas Radebe may be out of tomorrow's UEFA Cup tie against AS Roma. With that and the rest of today's footballing news, here's our man Don Riddell.
AS Roma touched down in the pouring rain at Leeds Bradford Airport this lunchtime, holding a 1-0 advantage. Leeds didn't get the rub of the green out in Italy, but in front of goal it seems to be going their way now. Harry Kewell's second deflected shot in the space of 4 days earned them a 2-2 draw at Derby on Saturday. But they've got a problem at the back. Skipper Lucas Radebe and goalkeeper Nigel Martin are doubtful for tomorrow.
Lucas is struggling for tomorrow night. But with Lucas as well, or with Nigel, you've got to give them every chance. And we'll see how Lucas is tomorrow. If it's possible for him to play, he'll want to play. If it's not, then he cannot play.
Radebe may miss tomorrow's European tie with Roma after injuring a knee against Derby.
Lucas, what he is to this team, you've got to give him every chance. And one thing about Lucas, apart from being a tremendous player, he's so positive.
In the game, Robert Molinar and this deflected shot from Harry Kewell were the Leeds goals in the 2-2 draw.
And Roma are confident they can conquer Leeds United and avert a UEFA Cup upset. They hold a 1-0 lead from the first leg, and although Luigi Di Baggio is suspended, the Italian side has arrived fresh from a 4-0 victory over Udinese and lie third in Serie A. Before this tie, Roma were tipped to win the UEFA Cup by the Leeds manager David O'Leary, and he'd love to be proved wrong.
And I think they're a team that are made to for this type of occasion. They were delighted they didn't concede an away goal, and as we've seen out there, we didn't make many mistakes, and the one mistake we really did make, they punished you for it, and that's what they can do. I want us to, like at Derby on Saturday, pass it and be positive with it, and when it's on, take the play to their box. And that's what we've been doing, and that's what I tried to do in Rome when we could.
The one major blow from the game against Derby was the injury to the Leeds captain Lucas Radebe, who could be out of action for up to 2 weeks. David O'Leary will be back in the dugout after his touchline ban in the first leg, but his new managerial skills will be tested to the full.
they're playing the best football in Serie A, and in fact but for a few unlucky results, you know, the way they played, they should be probably leaders of Serie A.
Roma were surprised by the quality of Leeds in the first leg and will be hoping to hit the home side on the break early on to put the game out of reach. But Leeds are hoping it'll be more than just another rich experience for their fast-developing youngsters. David Hurst, Sky News at Elland Road.
Cup tie with Serie A side Roma, but although the Italians hold the lead, their captain Francesco Totti is expecting a rough ride at Elland Road.
Sicuramente risultato 1-0, veniamo da risultato 1-0, non è compromesso niente, sarà una bellissima partita, speriamo di passare il turno.
Well, it's going to be a very tough match since our result 1-0 is not a very safe result, but anyway it's going to be a very good match and we hope we can win.
Their captain, a very handsome youth too, Francesco Totti, earns as much in a week as the average Hull player takes home in a year, Mike.
Oh, Spotty Totti. The match is delicately poised. Both sides fancy their chances of progressing through to the next round of the UEFA Cup. It's a match to whet the appetite. Talking of which, Don Riddell's report kicks off in a restaurant.
If you're planning on an Italian meal in Leeds tonight, think twice about who'll be serving your carbonara. There may be a distinct shortage of waiters.
How are you going to be during the game? How will you feel?
Excited, cool. I'll be worried a lot, especially in the first 20 minutes when there will be a tempo, English tempo, up and down, up and down.
If I say I support Leeds, I get the stick from all the Italian. If I say that I support Rome, I'll get picked on from all the customers that be coming in here. So I can't win.
But Roma are here only to win. The first job at last night's training session was to acclimatise to the foul Yorkshire weather.
The cold is a problem for Italian, also for journalists.
Una cosa che può condizionare la partita.
Well, since we live in Rome, and in Rome there's a lot of sun, usually, well, everyone was very disappointed. But anyway, this will not be a great problem for us during the match. It's a problem during the day, because we cannot go out, but anyway.
But Leeds will be hoping that's exactly what happens. Rome to go out, United to go through.
So that's the prognosis. We can go live now to John Shires, who's at Elland Road. John.
Thanks very much, Mike. Yeah, it's a cold night here, but I think we're going to have some hot action on the pitch. With me is Peter Lorimer, former Leeds player, knows a thing or two about big European nights. How do you think this is going to compare, Peter?
Well, it's the biggest game the club's had for a while. The young players we have in the side, obviously, it's going to be a big test for them, see how well they've progressed. They did superb in Rome, so there's no reason to think they should freeze on the night, but this is where you find out about your young players.
How do you think Leeds are going to approach this? Are they going to go all out first 20 minutes?
No, they won't. No, that's committing suicide, because if they go all out, Roma break away, they stick one in net, then they would have to score 3. And as we all know, to score 3 against an Italian team is very difficult. No, I think they'll be patient, play, hope they get a break early, hope they can get one, and then Rome's in the situation where they can't sit back, they've got to start venturing out a little bit, so then it becomes cat and mouse. But I'd be very surprised. I mean, I do expect them to take the game to Rome and attack, but I don't think they'll go crazy. I think they'll be tight at the back and make sure they keep people back there.
The difficulty is, though, that Roma look a good side going forward. Can you see them not scoring a goal?
This is the problem. It would be no so good if Ribeiro's shot that hit the post had gone in over there. We'd have had an away goal, because it is so vital in Europe now. But to be quite honest with you, this is going to be the problem, stopping Rome scoring.
OK, well, let's hope they do. It's going to be a warm night on the pitch out there. We'll be here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Now, thanks to John Shires and Peter Lorimer. Now then, they might be the opposition this evening, but I'm sure that we'll do our level best to make our Italian guests feel completely at home.
Absolutely, and that actually shouldn't be too difficult, because although you might not know it, Leeds and Rome have quite a lot in common. Well, that's what Alan tells us anyway.
Rome, city of history and culture. Just like Leeds. Rome's public buildings may be a little bit older, but in Leeds they certainly know a thing or two about architecture. And as for culture, well, a certain sculptor called Henry Moore found inspiration right here. And what about this? Now, this is a public draughts and chessboard, except that we play the game in this part of the world with real draughts. they're icy cold and they blow from Siberia, I think. But you can meet some very nice Italians who are more than happy to tell you how they think Leeds compares with Rome.
Leeds rispetto a Roma è una città molto più fredda.
Basically, he's saying that Leeds is a great city, but Rome is warmer.
Anche in inverno è sempre soleggiata, c'è vita.
Of course, Leeds doesn't have a Trevi fountain in which you can throw coins, but on a day like today, there are plenty of puddles. Arrivederci.
He dived in and got it back after that.
That is so sad.
Of course, we're all right. We speak fluent Italian, don't we?
Yeah, Chianti.
Yeah, carbonara.
Fettuccine.
Fongoli.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Arrivederci.
Yeah, carbonara.
Arrivederci.
Yeah, fettuccine, yeah. Good night.
A huge upset if they do it, but Leeds United are hoping they can overcome a 1-0 deficit to beat AS Roma in tonight's UEFA Cup match. Our sports reporter Tanya Arnold is at Elland Road. Over to you, Tanya.
Yes, it's another big night of European football here at Elland Road. It was 2 weeks ago that Leeds United battled it out at the Olympic Stadium, but eventually lost 1-0 to Roma. They're hoping home advantage will mean a change in fortunes for them. The Italians got a traditional Yorkshire welcome when they trained at Elland Road. These conditions are a far cry from what they're used to.
We left Rome this morning. We had the spring weather because we had 24 Celsius degrees. We had the sunny day and came here and fog, rain and everything, and so it will be another potential enemy for us, you know.
Leeds surprised everyone in Rome with their spirit and strength, and the Roma players aren't taking tonight's game lightly. But United know it'll be an uphill struggle to claw back the 1-0 deficit.
If we can play the way we did out there against a marvellous team, a quality team, a big quality club, if money's no object to them, a marvellous, you know, the marvellous squad. But we've shown what we can do, make up for in other areas.
Brutto, però bene. Beautiful, beautiful.
The superstars of the Italian side may be confident, but if United get just a little bit of luck, they may just pull off a surprise.
I just hope we win. It'd be lovely. If we can't, then make the crowd go home proud of us that we've given it a go.
David O'Leary there hoping that Leeds United are going to put on a bit of a show tonight. Well, with me is Mark Lawrenson, who'll be giving his expert views on Match of the Day tonight. How do you see it going, Mark?
Well, I certainly believe that Leeds needs to play as well as they played in Roma a couple of weeks ago, if not better. And I don't certainly think that we saw the best of Roma. I think they're a very classic counter-attacking team. You know, the goal scorer Del Vecchio and Totti, and they're talking about playing another Brazilian up front tonight. So I have a sneaking suspicion that Roma may score, and if they do, of course, Leeds will need 3 to get through the tie.
And of course, without Lucas Radebe, Leeds are going to be struggling.
Yes, they'll miss him, although he made a mistake, of course, for the goal out in Rome. But yes, he's certainly one of the better players, and I think Nigel Martin may need some painkilling injections just to get him through as well. They haven't been scoring goals as well of late, Leeds, which is another worry, but I think it will just take a superhuman effort from them tonight to get themselves through the game.
Now, it's a cold Yorkshire night here. It's been wet all day. I guess that will help Leeds.
You would hope so, wouldn't you? But I think international footballers now, they're used to playing in all sorts of conditions. I think one thing is that the ground's going to be full. There'll be a great atmosphere, and it is a very, very intimidating place to come and play. If the crowd can take that with them, and you know, hopefully the team can use it against Roma, then Leeds have a chance. But it will take a great effort from them.
So, what are your predictions?
It's going to rain about 9:30. I can't somehow see Leeds getting through. We'd love for them to get through, of course would, but I just feel that Roma will score. I think that will be the key to the game.
Well, thanks, Mark. Let's hope Leeds can do it. You can, of course, get full match commentary on BBC Radio Leeds tonight. They go on air at 7 o'clock with the build-up. Kick-off here is just after 8 o'clock. We're off to get a nice warm cup of coffee and warm up a little bit. For now, this is Tanya Arnold reporting live, full at North at Elland Road.
Thanks, Tanya. Yes, you keep warm. Promises to be a good match, that. Well, we stay with